Hey everyone, Cahlen here, and today I want to talk to you about an upgrade that I've made to my, basically what I call my wizard's robe, which is a combination of a number of different things. And I did this upgrade by simply adding a mylar poncho. So this is what the mylar poncho looks like, folded up. This is the package it comes in when you buy it. It comes with 3 of these because they're not super sturdy, so you know you do need backups. But basically what I did is, so I have this outer layer here, which is a poncho, which serves as my raincoat. It serves as my shelter, so I can put it up over the top of me and I can sleep under it to protect me from the sun or from the rain or from the wind. And it also can serve as a bivy sack, which is a waterproof sack that you put over your sleeping bag to keep it from getting wet, right? So you don't actually even need a shelter, you can just put this over your sleeping bag. So that's the outer layer that's going on here. And then inside this is the swagman's roll, which is basically what the military might call a poncho liner, which is basically like a blanket, which is shaped in the exact same dimensions as the poncho on the outside. And even this one, it's not normal for a poncho liner to have a hood, but this one does have a hood. So now I've been using these for a long time as my sleeping bag during warmer weather, and also as my shelter for long periods of time and all this type of stuff. I've made lots of videos about that, but I'm upgrading it now by adding that mylar poncho right in between the two. And so what that's going to do is it's going to make it so I'm reflecting the heat that wants to come out of my body is not escaping, because it's reflecting off the aluminum and coming back to me, right? So that works as the coat. It also works as the bivy sack, so I can, or just a blanket that I can put over my winter sleeping bag, and it will reflect the heat back, and it actually makes a really big difference. And it also, if you're worried about electromagnetic radiation from like cell towers or Wi-Fi routers and things like that, it's going to reflect off of this and not hit me. And in the hood, the mylar is in there as well, so when I put the hood up, it's also protecting my brain, at least from the top and back and sides, not so much from the face. But anyways, I'm gonna take this all off and put it on, show you me putting it on so you can see what it actually looks like. Okay, so here's the swagman's roll, which is basically my winter coat and my summer sleeping bag. It can also serve as a, if you use hammocks, it can serve as the underquilt. For those of you who are familiar with hammocks will know what I'm talking about there. So basically just put it over my head. And there we go, now it's on. Okay, so here's the mylar poncho. You see here's the hood right here. And this is where your arms would come out. When it comes, this lower part here will be sealed together. And there's a little hole for your arm again. And I needed to cut this to make this work. You have to do that on both sides. Another nice thing about this is that it reduces your heat signature from infrared cameras, if someone's looking for you using infrared, which they do. Okay, and now I just throw the final part over. And there we go. So basically, waterproof, cold proof, you know, down to a certain degree. And I think it looks pretty sweet. Nice thing about these is that the swagman's roll has these little elastic connector points, so you can wrap the front around you. And then you can do the same thing with the front. So now it's kind of more secure, and also you can secure it even better because the poncho has little snaps on it. You see little snaps which match on to the other side. Pop on my utility belt here. which has nice suspenders on it, which is really helpful, because if you get too heavy in your belt, it can start to eat into your hips, and so you can kind of adjust this to be more weight on your shoulders, and you can go back and forth as your shoulders get tired. All right, there we go. So this is basically, I'm ready for an adventure at this point, right? Assuming it's not going to get too cold, I actually have everything I need on this belt to survive, because I can roll this up with my bed. I have a little like mat that I can sleep on, like a foam mat, which rolls up with this whole thing here into a little bedroll, which I stick onto the back of my belt. And so basically I have everything that I need for basically 3 seasons just by wearing this and having this belt on. Now for winter, I do need to carry a backpack in order to have my 0-degree sleeping bag, but pretty much that's almost the only reason, I guess, for carrying food and water and things like that. But anyways, I'm pretty happy about this upgrade. I think it definitely works really well, and we'll see how it works when things get really cold this winter. That's basically the experiment that I'm doing this winter, is just, well, at least one of the experiments, to see if I can get by with just this and get rid of the outer layer of my clothing system, right? Because currently I'm using a big puffy winter jacket and big puffy winter pants, which are probably about 5 pounds and take up probably about 1/3 of the space in my backpack. And so if I can just ditch those, then that's a pretty big upgrade. Add a few ounces with that mylar and be able to drop 4 to 5 pounds of clothing, right? So anyways, we'll see how that goes when things start getting colder. So anyways, just thought I'd show you that. Hope it's useful and interesting, and I'll see you guys later.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please consider sharing it. If you'd like to help me out in a more substantial way, you can learn how to do so at cahlen.org/gift. And if you'd like to have a one-on-one conversation with me, whether publicly or privately, you can learn how to do so at cahlen.org/one-on-one. Thanks again for watching.